And is it looking at you?
It's looking at me. You hold still and I'll keep moving in the middle, yeah?
Okay.
Do you want to be in the film as well?
I could, not really.
You're prettier than me.
Okay, so we're going together. You can hold it.
If I turn it sideways, will that work for you on your screen at home, or would you prefer?
Oh, sideways is fine. Sideways is
We
fine.
can see us both now.
Yes,
Okay.
that's absolutely fine.
So, hello, Jackie.
Okay, hello, this is Matt, and he's a yoga teacher. I'll get Matt to introduce himself and say a couple of words about what he does and how long he's been doing it, etc.
Okay, I'm not sure where I'm looking to get the best view here. Matt Gluck here, yoga teacher. How long? Most of my life, really, since I was 5. I had asthma, and I started learning as a child to help with the asthma, and still doing it now. I'm 52 now, so most of my life, really. What was the other question you asked there?
Well, I'm not going to answer your question.
Can I rest my arm on your leg?
Yes,
there?
of course you can. Whether you teach adults and do you just teach adults? Or?
I do teach adults and kids and teenagers. At the moment, I've got 3 groups of teenagers, and one of the groups I think is mixed with some adults, but the other 2 groups are just the teenagers, and then adult classes as well. And I've taught younger kids, even toddlers, but I think you need to better to 4, 5 years old, 5, 6 years old, then the child has developed a level of attention that we can start to work with effectively.
What is the difference from teaching an adult class and teaching teenagers?
It's a very good and very interesting question, because sometimes I don't know. I might come from teaching at school to teaching in a group of adults, and occasionally I feel that the adults have more, how can I say, they might be more childlike in some ways, and in other ways sometimes the children are more grown up than the adults. The children can be, it depends upon the individual. What I'm trying to say is it's not really about age often, it's about individual souls, and people have, they have ways of being. I've always been like this, it's just that the mind grows and it learns. Teenagers, you get those teenage years where we feel kind of uncertain and a bit bodily maybe aware and, feel a little bit insecure at times. But the language, I find the more that I do yoga, I just relate to people as beings, people as people, and it's not so much about age, sex, gender, where they're from, background, anything, but it's about beingness. So I try to yoga has made me see that I'm the same as everybody else, although I used to think I wasn't. I was better and bigger. It's all a load of rubbish, isn't it?
That's true.
So I try to relate to people. You look at them and you try to see, are they responding, and what can I do to help? How can I relax myself more to help them to relax more, and vice versa, because it's this kind of oneness thing.
So do you feel that the language that you use to get them into postures or guide them into postures is any different to when you're teaching adults?
Yes, in that if you try to be with the times, so you try to use terminology that kids might recognise, and you try to use terminology that adults recognise. So, I don't watch TV or listen to the news, it all comes to me through people. But I'm aware, I use the internet and I'm aware of trendy words and what have you. So you try to use technology and trends to help people to relate. So if it helps by saying like, dislike and stuff like that people relate to, yes. If I'm talking to a group of senior citizens and they have no idea what Facebook is or like or dislike, then the language changes. I might tell some stories that I think relate to my childhood, that they can relate to my grandparents, my parents, stuff like that. So you have to, as a teacher, you're a performer. As a human being, you're a performer. We're all acting on a stage, and you have to be conscious that you're performing, and you have to play your audience. You have to warm them up.
If I ask you for one piece of advice that you would give a new yoga teacher or yoga teacher, meeting a group of teens for the first time to introduce a class, what advice would you give them?
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. You'll see that some of them are very open and relaxed and happy and going with you, and one or two of them might not be. And this is where it's interesting. Adults are the same. It's nothing to do with age a lot of the time. Enjoy yourself, relax. If you notice someone in the group who's particularly tense and not relaxed, notice if you're focusing on them too much. Focus on those who are relaxed. As you relax more, give some of that love to the person who's a little bit more tense. But don't overwork with people who are too tense, because you may find that you then become tense. That's just experience, isn't it? As adults, we learn that.
And one more question, do you find that you change like the type of music you put on, etc.?
Yes, and
things?
I do. I go through phases of no music because people complain about the music sometimes. There's no accounting for taste. So someone doesn't like my music, I then might not play music for a few weeks or months, just to kind of adjust to, what shall I play? And then sometimes I don't play music because traditionally we don't have music to do the postures and meditate. The music can be very distracting and take you away from yourself. The music makes you less aware of the noise that's going on inside. And without that music, you can feel the breath, you can hear the breath, you're much more self-aware. So sometimes the music is very restful, supportive for the soul, and at other times it can be distracting for the mind.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much.
A pleasure. Can I give you a kiss?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Right, now you've got to figure out.